Good day, collectors and viewers. Social Distance Warrior is back with video number 18. Today we're going to look at Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. We're going to be looking at the ultimate Jedi Master of all time, the super 900-year-old Yoda, the species that has yet to be named, that will remain a mystery if George Lucas has his way. And that mystery obviously gives us more intrigue in this character, and curiosity is what makes him so popular. And the cuteness, the look, the whole idea behind him with, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And then, of course, you can't judge a book by its cover, right? So Luke, when he went in search of this Jedi Master, all-powerful Jedi Master, landed on Dagobah, he had no idea, nor could he believe that Yoda was the all-time, Jedi Master, the one that would train him, that Ben Kenobi sent him to. So Yoda made his debut in 1980, Empire Strikes Back, and soon after he was released in the Kenner collection of action figures. That's this figure here, and you can just see how well Yoda holds up even today. So he's got his belt, wrapped around his cloth robe there. He's got the cane in his hand. He's got the standard articulation. This figure does, as far as, legs, arms, head. The belt clips onto the back, so it is removable. It's very, very easy to lose on this figure. He's got pegs in the bottom there. And, that's the look of Yoda all the way around. I like to keep mine with all accessories in hand. I just love them this way. And go figure that my favorite accessory on this figure as a kid was always the orange snake. I always loved that orange snake. I always found it such a intriguing, feature on the Jedi Master. I was always wondering, if he's the Jedi Master, why he didn't have a lightsaber. But, of course, nobody did except for Luke and Darth Vader in the original Star Wars movies, and Ben Kenobi, of course. So, that's Yoda in all his glory from 1980. And, of course, he'd be released again in Empire Strikes Back, as far as the Return of the Jedi, as well as the Return of the Jedi wave back in the day. And then, of course, Star Wars, when it went dormant, we wouldn't see Yoda again for a number of years until the Power of the Force 2 came out. So that's what we got from Yoda. And then Power of the Force 2 came out, and we were seeing Yoda again, this time in 1996, on that orange/red card back. I called it orange. It's supposed to be red card back. We got Yoda again. We got a brand new sculpt. That's him over here. You can see Yoda. He does come with his cane. He does come with a few accessories on there, articulation-wise on the head. You can see brand new sculpt. A lot of figures were exaggerated at the time. Yoda's pretty good. He stands up pretty good even today. He doesn't have separate feet, but you can sit him down. You can see he does have that feature there. Cane in his hand. He doesn't turn at the waist. There's nothing there. I'll just show you what it looks like from the back. Okay, so Yoda can bend over. Yoda can, peck, at R2-D2 with his cane. He can do whatever he wants like that. And then, of course, he came with the training backpack for Luke Skywalker. So you'd mount this thing on Luke Skywalker. You'd put it over his back. This would just plug into the peg there. There's a little slot where that plugs into. It holds in there firm, too. So you just push that in. Let's just do this one as well to show you what that looks like. And that would sit over Luke Skywalker, Dagobah fatigues. And then, of course, Yoda would sit in the back. Let's just take his cane out for a second. Again, momentarily. Put Yoda inside, just so we can see what Yoda looks like in that backpack training Luke Skywalker. So he fits in there pretty nice. And, he can reenact that whole scene, which was really, really cool at the time. I loved that. That was like a favorite of mine. It felt like an added accessory that, was much needed. And it's rubber. It's a thick rubber. It sits on there. Well, obviously a little bit exaggerated, but still you can pull off Yoda training Luke Skywalker, which was really neat. Okay. We seem to have lost a Yoda here in the back. Let's fix him. Put him back. Okay, Mr. Yoda, I want you to stand now. So next time we see Yoda, he was released again. I'd say around the same time, maybe a year later, in that, the Galaxy set where they came with a planet. He came with a planet Dagobah. It's basically exactly the same figure with a slightly different tone on color. So I'm not going to show that one. We'll just go right up to 1998 Flashback. So we got a Flashback Yoda, and it's almost exactly the same sculpt as the one that we got, except they've given us slightly more modified paint job. The paint job is better. And of course, the biggest thing you can see here is he's got hair. So he's got real hair on this one here. It looks like he didn't comb his hair in a long time, but it's such a neat feature to have that hair. It's one of my favorites. just because it kind of gives us that look, like a Muppet, like a puppet, whatever you want to call him. He comes with his cane. He does come with a boiling pot as well. So the accessories were really cool in these sets. So boiling pot, you can, reenact that scene in the house when he was cooking. And then he does have, well, let's see it. That was a little light that he had from Luke's X-Wing as well. So he does come with that as well. And, when he picks it up and he's playing with it, Luke's trying to grab it out of his hand. So some cool extra accessories that, again, made him more appealing to get. What was neat about that figure as well is he was flashback. So he came with, that flashback card where you could pull the tab down and see a preview of episode 1. In this case, it was Yoda's appearance in episode 1. So you had that. You got to see what he looks like. And then, of course, the standard one that we got here from Empire Strikes Back. So next time we see Yoda is episode 1. So part of the episode 1 line, then we find out Yoda's in the movie. He's the all-powerful Jedi Master on Coruscant. And, he's the one that's deciding there with the rest of the Jedi Council whether Anakin can be trained. And that's this Yoda here. And he went through some changes, of course, afterwards in the special DVD release for episode 1. But that's what he looked like in the original release. So, articulation on the head. And he's got some hair running around the back there. So his look is a little bit different because he's a little bit younger. He's got swivels at the elbow, so you can, raise his arms up. You can pose them quite a bit. He can hold a few things. He doesn't come with anything except for one major accessory. So you can see, you can sit him down. He's got the pegs on the bottom. Let's just show you what it looks like from the back, and then I'll show you what you do with them. So he's got, this part of his robe overlapping the back, which is cool. Gives it a nice feature, updated look, makes them look a lot more realistic. I liked a lot of the look of the episode 1 stuff. They were a lot more detailed than figures were previously. They spent money on that. And then he comes with his chair. So you have, his Jedi Council chair. You can sit him in there, and he sits in there nicely as well. And you can, reenact that whole scene. So that's his episode 1 look with his throne. We're just going to move the throne to the side here. I just want to show you the throne before I put it away. They'd re-released this as well. They'd made the council scene 3 packs, and Yoda would be one of them again. Afterwards, a little bit later in the Star Wars, saga, original trilogy collection line. And you get to build the whole Jedi Council. Perhaps I can review those at some point too. You guys just let me know below. We'll go from there. So let's put that Yoda back. He could stand back there. And then next Yoda we're going to get is Power of the Force 2, also 1999. They did a cinema scene, packs with background, stand and 3 characters. And there was Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda as they appeared at the end of Return of the Jedi as spirits. So we got Yoda in spirit form, and that's a really, really nice figure. That whole set was really nice. It doesn't have any articulation. You can't turn the head. You can't turn the arms. He's fixed. He's got a translucent plastic to show us that he's a spirit. And it's really, really well done. It's got like a little bit of frosting on there too. So you can, it's got that look where it glows a little bit. But the sculpt is really nice on the Yoda, and they didn't just reuse the existing figure. They reposed his arms, so the arms are crossed like he's standing, attentive, watching, smiling at Luke Skywalker at the end of Return of the Jedi after he was able to redeem his dad and, stop Emperor Palpatine and the Empire, which was a nice fitting end to the Star Wars movies. So that's the Yoda that we got in '99 as part of that cinema scene. Okay, so next Yoda we're going to get is... We're going to go 3 years later. Attack of the Clones comes out. It's 2002. We're now on Star Wars Saga as the main line. And we get a deluxe pack Yoda with the super battle droid. So that's the Yoda over here as he looked in Attack of the Clones. So Yoda now comes with a lightsaber, which is neat. We finally get Yoda lightsaber form. So technically this is the first figure with the lightsaber. He did come out with the Hangar one, which I'll show you in a second as well. Articulation-wise, he just has his arms. They go up and down, and this part's fixed. You can see, what the head looks like sculpt-wise. Detail. Okay, detail was always a little bit less of a paint job on the deluxe sets than the regular figures were, but he still maintains the look of Yoda. His pose is not very difficult to stand him. And then the nice thing about this guy here is, let me just pull that lightsaber out for a sec. The lightsaber hilt is metal, so they did action features on these things. And if you can see, one of his hands here has got a magnet in it as well. I think it was that hand there. Yeah, so that hand's got a little magnet in there to grasp the lightsaber. It's like they were advertising force powers, so that's Yoda's gimmick. And if we flip him underneath here, we can see he's got magnets on his feet too. This one's kind of eroded a little bit over the years. But the trick here was he came with a little base, because you had that scene with the Genoshan Arena and the droid factory. So there was supposed to be a scene where Yoda's making his way in and he cuts down a battle droid, from what I heard anyway. And then that part was cut out, but they did make the toy. I just want to show you that, scene that he came with. So that's this thing here, and it's got an arm here on top. That's also supposed to be part of the droid factory. Oh, just want to show you that because I can't really get into the camera. So it doesn't really do anything. It just swings around at the top. But as you move Yoda on that base, because he's got the magnet, you can move him around, have him fight the battle droid. So let's just see whether I can get him, attached to that base to kind of get him moving around a little bit. So now you can see we can move Yoda around. Let's just, position him so we can see him here on camera. And you move this handle here back and forth, and you're able to move Yoda on that base back and forth. And if you just switch him over here and turn these guys as you come to the end, you can turn Yoda around too. See that? You can have him fighting the battle droid. And then you're supposed to have it where like he cuts the battle droid down, or he cuts down the pillar. So really neat feature on there. And you could put that as part of your Geonesis, arena playset in the back. It doesn't really attach to anything, but it's got that same theme, that look there on the base. So that's Yoda from the deluxe set. Let's just put that down over there. Put him back. And then also in 2002, as part of that Star Wars Saga line, we get a single release Yoda, this time with the hanger stand, I like to call it. So it's part of that hangar where he fights Count Dooku towards the end of the movie, that anticipated fight to show us why Yoda is the ultimate Jedi Master. So that's the base that he comes with there. So we get a brand new Yoda. Let's just pull him off there momentarily just to show you what he looks like first. So again, he's got an action pose. This time he's got swivel shoulders, so you can move him at the shoulders. You can't really do anything else at the wrist, but shoulders, and you can turn his arm any which way you want. And of course, he's got his lightsaber in his hand. You can turn him sideways. It doesn't have much movement because of the cape. It kind of impedes him, but he's got a nice dynamic look, action pose to him. And if you flip him up underneath, they did put a peg in his foot, but there's also a big circular opening underneath there, and that's because Yoda sits on his stand here. And we place him on that stand, and you see the color of it, the look is that hanger where he fights Count Dooku near the end of the movie, and you have the option to, raise Yoda up, which is a really neat one. You turn that sideways, and up Yoda goes. So that was a nice little action features. Lots of stuff had action features. You could have Yoda in battle and moving around, and of course, have him battling Count Dooku. And then, of course, there's a part here that comes off. They didn't cheap out on this at all. This part of the hanger base comes off. It looks like it's ripped apart. You can have it where he's, force pulling or throwing stuff, objects, or cutting them out of the ground, whatever you want to have with the figures. So it's definitely a nice addition and unique Yoda to have. And that base, coming with the figure, definitely makes it worth the price point. They didn't cheap out at all. They gave us a smaller action figure, but he justified it with a big piece of plastic that you could use to display in your scene. So next Yoda we get is 2003. We go 1 year, also Star Wars Saga, this time with the hover chair, and he came with a youngling. So when he was training the younglings, and then when he was in that, the Jedi temple, when he was walking around inside down the corridor, talking with Mace Windu, he was sitting on his hover chair. That'll be this one over here. And you can see it's got a translucent base plastic there. He sits on this chair. He's got a nice pose where he's sitting, and his cape just kind of, hangs over the back of the chair. We can take him off the chair as well. We can stand him up to show you what he looks like there. He doesn't look too bad there too. He's kind of standing attentive. He does have swivel elbows, so you can move his arms out if you don't want him sitting, if you want him standing. You can move his wrists here, which is neat too on the figure. So if you wanted to put a lightsaber in his hand, you can. He's got his cape kind of, dangling in the back. It looks like it's flowing. So when he's standing, it doesn't look bad as well. We'll just sit him back down. We'll cross his arms again to have him sitting. And then, he just has his, the hood going over the back there. Lots of detail on the figure. And we'll put him back on his chair. So the chair's got the, look like it's supposed to be floating, which is nice. So also 2003, I don't have one to show you here, but there was a Clone Wars. They made a Clone Wars animated shorts, 5-minute episodes. They're really fantastic. Everything, concentrated into these small episodes, and they gave us more insight into the Clone Wars and the Jedis and how they led these clone armies, and Yoda was in there leading a clone army, and they made a realistic version of him. So there's a realistic version in 2003 of that animated version. So they did that with the number of characters. He was one. I don't have one to show you. He came with a base as well. And then also in 2003, they made animated versions of those 5-minute cartoon shorts, and Yoda was one as well. Made a figure of him there. And then we wouldn't see Yoda again until 2004, this time part of the original trilogy collection. This one was Dagobah training. So we get Yoda here in a little bit more of a darker paint job. You know, he does have swivel at the elbows here, so you can move his arms around at the wrists as well. At the waist, you can turn him at the waist. So there's a lot of detail here on the Yoda. He comes with his cane. His head is on a ball joint, you know, which is a new thing for Star Wars figures. It's funny, this one always reminds me of an actor from Hollywood. And this looks like, you know, Ron Howard's brother. Don't ask me why. It looks a little bit like Clint Howard when he got that puzzled look on his face in movies. So, you know, that's what this Yoda reminds me of. So it's a nice Yoda. He did come with his own stand base. Let me show you that too. I have that over here. So just like the Spirit of Obi-Wan and the Luke and the R2, he came with a stand with a log there in the grounds of Dagobah, and you could stand him, put him in the scene. So it looks like he's, you know, there talking to Luke Skywalker, training him on Dagobah. And he did come with, you know, the backpack that you could attach to Luke Skywalker. So Luke Skywalker could stand on his hands, or, you know, he could have Yoda on his back. He could do two things because he had removable arms. Yoda, what you do with him here, let's just look at him for 1 second. He can separate at the waist. We can pop him off there. You can see he just has a, you know, ball that just pops in there. And then you can put that into the backpack here. Let's see. There we go. And then you have Yoda in the backpack. Now, a little bit of an exaggerated look, a little bit opposite of what we had here, which is a really big backpack. Now we get a really small backpack. Yoda looks like his legs disappeared in there, but still gave us a nice feature to put on the Luke, and it helped standing him up wise. And we'd see an improvement as we go, but you can see how it's changing the line as we go forward. So Yoda has that. Let's put him back together so he's not cut in half. He's not Darth Maul. So that kind of fits in there nice and snug. So that's Yoda we got from the original trilogy collection wave. So next time we see Yoda, same year, vintage original trilogy collection. So they give us an Empire version of Yoda. That'll be this one here. They did that with a number of figures like we've looked at already in the past, and they put them on the vintage cards, and Yoda's no exception. And he gets the super articulated detail version as well, just like the other characters did. And he comes with his cane there in the back, and he also has his snake, which is a favorite of mine, that snake accessory. So he comes with that, and he does come with a necklace that sits over the top. He's got some cloth goods on the inside of his outfit there, and of course the cloth cloak that goes around the outside. So that's the Yoda that we got, a vintage original trilogy collection. Let's just flip it over to the back. We can have a look at, you know, what that original card looked like here with Yoda on it. Original figure. This is paying homage to that. And then of course the other figures that were available in the line, you know, Empire Vader, Yoda, Lando, 3PO, and then of course they had New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Jedi versions of figures as well. So that's what we got in 04. Let's just put that back there. So now we go to 2005. Now we have another Star Wars movie, this time Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And we have lots of action features on these figures. They had their own wave, and Yoda's no exception. We get Yoda with spinning action. So that's this one over here, and you can turn him, and he locks in place there. He does have like a pressure point, spring action on the bottom of his feet here. And if you push that up, he's supposed to swing forward, and his cape twirls. But you can see mine's a little bit old now, so he's not really doing it the way I want. But it's a nice figure. I love the detail on this figure. I like how the cape is, you know, floating. So it's got the look like he's in battle. What I do with this Yoda here, I don't pack him away. I have him sitting in my Republic gunship, and I have that scene going where they're landing in the arena to, you know, help out and pick up all the Jedis to save them there at the end of Attack of the Clones. That really cool scene. So that's where I put that Yoda. So that's spinning action Yoda. Again, action features, limited articulation. Just underneath you can see he just has his feet. They're together. They're on that spring. Not much else going for that figure other than posing him, standing him up. Okay, so Then same year, 2005, we get another Yoda. This time with comes with a cannon. So that'll be this one here. He's more of an action pose. He's got, you know, his robe over, and this figure, his robe pops off, so we can pull that robe off, and we get Yoda's look underneath there with the undergarment. And he does have really cool feature here, swivel elbows, which is such a nice feature on such a small figure at the time. You can turn him at the wrist. There's nothing at the elbow, just at the shoulders, sorry. Nothing at the waist, that's fixed there. But he's got legs, which is awesome. It's not a common thing for the Yoda figures to have separate legs. This one does. And of course, he's got the feet, and the feet can turn as well, which is neat. You know, they have some ball joints in there too, so you can angle him, position him, however which way you want. And of course, he's got that, you know, look like he's about to do either Kung Fu or a Jedi trick on Count Dooku. So that's really neat. And of course, he's on a ball jointed head too. So they went, you know, a lot of feature-wise all out on these figures. They're really, really good at the time, considering you had to pay a premium to get the one in the Vintage Trilogy collection, and then for the main line, you can still get some decent figures like this Yoda is over here. Let's put that cloak back on him just so we don't lose it. So that just slips back over, and then Yoda can go back beside his counterpart there. And next in 2005, we get a holographic Yoda, Toys R Us exclusive. I have him in package over here. So you spent a certain amount of money at Toys R Us, you got this as a gift. You got it for free. Yoda's in the translucent plastic and depicting him as a hologram. He does come with a translucent base as well, which is really neat. You can see a picture of him there on the front. Lightsaber too is translucent. You can remove that. It's got like a light purplish tone to it. Really cool looking figure. Revenge of the Sith. Let me just turn it around to show you what it looks like from the back. So it shows us Yoda there. Then it shows us, you know, a couple more pictures of Yoda's up here too, from the movie when he was fighting Dooku, when he was talking to the rest of the council and stuff. So Yoda Kashyyyk transmission, as they call it, Revenge of the Sith. So let's put that guy back. And then we go ahead to 2005. There's another Yoda. We got spoiled with Yodas there. I think this will be the fourth one that we're going to get. It's a deluxe version. They came with deluxe figures that had either small vehicles or creatures that they came with. Yoda was no exception. So we got a new Yoda again, this time pre-posed. He does have his lightsaber in hand, but he's got his, you know, feet in a sitting position. You can't do anything with them. They have a nice, cool sitting position there. His arms are articulated. The leg kind of, one goes over the other. He's sitting, you know, crisscross applesauce. He does turn at the waist. Okay, and his head does turn as well. And then his cape kind of just swoops, you know, down over to the back. And I'll show you where he goes in 1 second. Underneath here, you can see there's no pegs. Obviously, his feet can't stand. But he's got an L-shape slot there because he's going to sit on a creature from Kashyyyk. He's going to sit on the council. So there's this thing called the cancel. It's like a giant dragonfly. It was from a deleted scene in the movie where Yoda was supposed to ride on one that was cut out because the movie was too long. And it's a nice figure as well, like a creature, and it's got full articulation, you know, on its legs. Legs move back and forth. You can pull the wings off. I have them stationed on there, and of course Yoda can sit on the back. You put that, you know, L slot there on Yoda. He sits right. He sits firmly too. You put him right on the back there. Let's see if I can get him on camera. There we go. And there's Yoda flying the cancel, and he can, you know, fly him into battle and attack that Trade Federation on Kashyyyk before things get out of control. So that was a nice, neat figure that they made there. Kind of unique, especially when you didn't see that in the movie. Let's put him back here. Okay, and then next time we're going to see Yoda is a couple years later now, 2007, 30th anniversary collection. We get figures that come with coins and come with accessories, and they really went all out on this line. We got a Yoda, and he was a realistic version of the cartoon where he was riding the Kaibuk, and that's this guy over here. I have him on card. He comes with the full, you know, creature, and it's fully articulated legs, both legs, you know, small ones in the front here and the long ones in the back, and the tail plugs in and the head turns. So they went all out on the figure. Yoda would stand there, no problem. He comes with his, you know, Jedi robes. He's got articulated legs, which is nice. He's got this, you know, strap bandolier over the front, and on the back, he's got a spot where you plug the lightsaber in, which is really neat. There's his little lightsaber. I'll just turn that to the side, see whether we can see the back. I don't think we can really. But, you know, take my word for it, that Yoda does have a little spot on the back where you can plug the lightsaber in. And the hood pulls over his head and his ears can stick out, which is neat. So they went all out on this Yoda. That's from the 30th anniversary. Okay, and that's the look on the back. And there's a little bit of a picture, you know, from the Clone Wars where he was in. And then there's a little picture there, Yoda. You can see him riding it. You can see his ears, you know, protruding through the hood, which is such a neat figure. He looks very intimidating, like I'm ready for battle, like a Jedi Master for sure. There's some of the other figures that were in the wave too. So that's 30th anniversary line, 07. And then we go to 2008, and now we have a Clone Wars, a new one, a new animated series coming out. Dave Filoni's Clone Wars, the ones we all know well today. That's when they started out, and Yoda did obviously make his appearance there. He was in the very, very first episode with his own clones. And that'll be the first rendition here in 08, Yoda. Now you've got the spring mechanism where he could fire something out. You know, it's a fixed hand. I'm not too crazy about that. There's articulation on the wrist here, like he's doing a force trick. This arm's got a ball joint on the shoulder, so you can move that up and down, swivel at the elbow, and then articulated, you know, wrist as well here. The head turns. He's got that animated style. You can kind of turn him at the waist there. And this part restricts it because it can't move it. And then, of course, the feet don't have any articulation on the legs, just the feet do. The feet have a little ball in there, too, to position him how you want. And that's what he looks like from the back. And you can see that's where you put the projectile in. And there's the back of his head, too. That's Yoda. Okay, so let's put Yoda back over here. We get an updated version of that Yoda in 2009. 1 year later, I call him version 2, Clone Wars. That's this one here, and it's much improved. So we get cloth goods this time on Yoda. Lightsaber cane, no firing mechanism. They went all out. He's got articulation on his legs. You can move him at the waist. You can bend him at the elbows, which is neat too, as well as the shoulders. You have that, you know, ball joint up there. So full all out. The head sculpt a lot better too. It's a lot more serious than that original one. I'll put them side by side to show you. You know, here he's kind of deer in the headlights, and then here he's serious. He's got a nice serious look. The cloth goods are awesome on this. They're nice and thick. They have a nice texture feel to them. And they're kind of furry on the inside, flat on the outside. We turn it around. He's got the hood too. So you have that hood. It can go over. Now, the hood can't go over, doesn't have holes for the ears, but you can have it where it's sitting up, you know, over his head if you wanted to. You can pull that over. So yeah, that's Yoda from Clone Wars version 2. Let's put him back here. Okay, so next Yoda that we're going to get is Vintage Collection. So 2011, they made a Vintage Collection Yoda, Revenge of the Sith one. I don't have him here to show you, but he's kind of a kit bash figure, and he's kind of a new sculpt as well. He's a really nice one. He came with the Force effect, the blue Force effect, like he was doing a Force push, or when he was blocking Darth Sidious, this when he was Force pushing the lightning back at him. So that was 2011, and then we fast forward 3 more years to 2014, and Black Series had a 3 3/4 inch line and a 6 inch line. 3 3/4 inch line got a new Yoda. That'll be this guy over here. So they gave us a brand new Yoda from Empire Strikes Back. He comes with his, you know, medallion, necklace that is sitting over him separately there. Brand new head. It's on a ball joint. The arms as well, you know, they come up. He's a fine more detail. He's a little bit small, but detail-wise, he's accurate. I'm sure if you really want to compare the figures, that belt does come off. There's his feet underneath. He doesn't have any pegs on this one here. I do have one that is without the robe to show you as well. Let's just put him down to show you that momentarily. So that's what Yoda would look like under the robes. You can see the arms just go up and down. There isn't any articulation in the wrists or on the elbows, just on the shoulders, up and down. He can't turn side to side as well. He's just fixated in that spot, but he does have articulated legs. They come up and down, and you can see he looks a little bit more frail and older from Empire Strikes Back. That's what he looks like from the back. And then the Yoda also did come with a pouch for putting him in. So now we get a cloth, you know, backpack to put Yoda inside. So you can train Luke Skywalker, and you can put that, you know, through Luke's arms. The straps are nice. It's got a working belt buckle as well. This actually opens up. I'll just show you that too. See if I can pull it out. There you go. So you can see that actually it's a working belt buckle. Slip Luke in there, clip it back in, and then Yoda can sit in his back. and help him out. I'll just pop Yoda in there. Let's pop this one in just to show you what he looks like in there, and then he can train Luke Skywalker in that backpack. So let's put him back up there. So that was part of the Black Series 2014. And then next time we see Yoda, Disney takes over. So when that previous Yoda was made, that was still under Lucasfilm. As they took over, now Disney took over. Now Hasbro's making figures for Disney. And they make mission series. So they make, you know, 2-packs for these mission series. And they went back to 5 points of articulation. And we get a new Yoda there. That one came with Darth Sidious. So it's that prequel Yoda with the robe on when he's fighting. So I don't have that one to show you, but I do have the one from the next year. So from 2015, there's a Mission Series 2-pack, this time with R2-D2. And we get a brand new sculpt of Yoda, again in that 5 points of articulation. So that's this guy here. He comes with his cane. He's a decent figure. He's got a nice look to him. He's got that Empire Strikes Back look. You can turn his head. Not much paint-wise. You know, he's just fixated on there. No articulation, you know, at the wrists as well. Just standard stuff. Legs do come up, but they've gone to that old school way where the leg is kind of sculpted into the robe when you turn it up here and have him sitting down. So that's that Yoda from the Mission Series. And we'd see Yoda one more time. We get him in the 2017 Last Jedi Wave. So Last Jedi Wave made figures for Last Jedi. Then they also released some original trilogy stuff on that. Yoda was one of them. I actually like that Yoda a lot. There's this guy here. It's more of a prequel era Yoda. He comes with his robe. This is probably the most detailed Yoda I think that we have to date in regards to his pose, his look. He's a very nice figure. This robe part is separate. It sits over. So if you were to take it off, it's going to look a little weird because the outfit is sculpted onto the arms. It's not the whole piece that comes off, but the head is on a ball joint. It's a nice figure. Sculpt is really, really nice. Considering how small he was and how this line was, they put a lot of detail into the Yoda. He's small. He's got adjustments on his feet there. Slight ones anyway. He's got that, you know, force link where you can speak as well. He does come with his cane, which is a nice little feature here. The cane's like a little ball. It just kind of snaps into his hand instead of being a, you know, bracket. It's like a ball. It goes right into his hand and it fits in there nicely between the 3 fingers. And then he does come with his lightsaber as well. I don't have that here. I've put that aside. He does turn at the waist. So really nice looking Yoda, detail-wise, to sit on your shelf. That's 2017, the most recent new Yoda that we got. And then we'd see him one more time. They re-released the Vintage Collection, and then in 2019 we get a 3-pack, Cave of Evil 3-pack with, you know, Luke Skywalker and Dagobah fatigues, and Darth Vader Dagobah as well, and we get Yoda. And Yoda is exactly the same as our Black Series one, except they've used that scan technology on his face. Let's just bring that over and show you what that looks like too. So that's the Yoda that we get there. Fantastic looking face on the Yoda. Never looked better. You can see he's got his cloth robes on, and then he's got the pouch as well, and he's got his cane. And then here's Luke Skywalker, obviously with the scan technology as well. And then here's the Dagobah Cave Darth Vader, where you can pull the face off and have, you know, Luke Skywalker reveal his face underneath there too. So that's the Cave of Evil. That's the most updated Yoda that we have in the line. It's the last time we've seen him in 2019, 3¾ inch. So the only other Yoda that we have that we haven't shown you here is the Black Series one. So Black Series one got a release 2014, I believe it was. Wasn't the most appealing figure. The paint job wasn't the greatest. Then in 2019, they made another version of him, this time as part of the Black Series archive line. And Yoda came with that, you know, scan technology on his face. He looks a lot better. That's him here. So that's our definitive 6-inch Yoda. The face sculpt is really good on this guy. And of course, he comes with his necklace and his snake and his cane. And he's got his belt on there and cloth goods. So definitely a nice looking Yoda. And with that scan technology on the face, particularly the eyes, Yoda looks amazing, right? I love that scan technology. I love it on the small one too. The Cave of Evil set is really nice too. So that's all the Yodas. That's everything from 1980 to present. You know, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you like, share, subscribe, leave some comments below. I look forward to making more videos. Take care.